Hey everybody, it's Joyce here. I'm sorry for the delay. It's about 7:22. I'm sweating, it's hot. I've been running all over the place doing meetings, talking, networking, doing all these different things, doing presentations. It's been a crazy day, but I still have to do dinner. I've done grocery shopping, but I promised you this video, so now is the time that's dedicated just to you. All right, so let's get into this thing. You see a little diagram that I started drawing up here, and I want to show you exactly what a fat cell is, how cellulite starts, where it comes from, how do you get the appearance of the dimples and all that kind of stuff. We're going to get into it right now. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm just going to go right in. So today we're going to cover part 1 of my cellulite video, and tomorrow, or I'm sorry, Monday, we'll get part 2. And as you know, a lot of people have been funneling into this event, you know, saying, hey, I missed it, can I jump back in? So I want to make sure I give enough time for people to filter in, get the content so we can keep it moving, okay? But I hope you enjoyed video 1 where I was talking about some of the myths and things like that, and why it's very crucial for you to work out now starting in September and not January. And if you missed that video, make sure you scroll down a little bit further and watch it, because the content is so valuable. Let's get into this though. So this is a fat cell, okay? And you can see here, the outside circle is the general piece of the fat cell. Every cell in the body has water that's attached to it. Water provides energy and life, right? So we know that for sure. Okay, and I'm going to draw a door for you so you can see this. But first, let me pick another color. This is going to be our mitochondria, and basically mitochondria is our generators within the cell. All right, so we'll call this is a very loose drawing, but this is, the green is mitochondria. All right, I know I'm taking you back to science class, but trust me, this is huge, all right? And then now I want to show you how there's a door on the inside attached to the mitochondria, and there's also a door on the outside of the fat cell. Now what happens here, I told you I have to use a lot of colors. What happens here is energy is supposed to be flowing out when the body needs fat for energy. Now we know that the key to getting your body to be leaned and toned is to release fat into the bloodstream, stored body fat, to be burned off as energy, right? We know this, and this is how you get nice and lean and toned. So what happens is here, the body, which aka the heart, is going to ask for energy. Okay? The heart is asking for energy. And so the general response is, it comes in, the body then tells the fat cell, I'm going to have to repeat some colors here, it's going to tell the fat cell to release fat, right? And I'm going to draw little tiny fat particles, we'll call them for the sake of the video. It's going to release it out into the body for energy. Here is the problem of what's going on right now. Let me get my eraser. All right, what happens is that most people don't know this. That nowadays, because our fat is so engorged, it's so thick, it's so fatty, so viscous, stuck together, it's just huge. So fat cells today, because of the foods that we're eating, are larger. We're going to start with that. So they're very big, huge pieces, particles of fat within the cell. Can you see that? All right. So what happens is that because the fat particles are so big, it begins to push water from the inside of the cell out. So water is actually being pushed out. And if you could just visualize this with me, stick with me, it's going to get easy. If you could visualize with me, this is your skin layer. So you have fat cells. Remember, fat cells are hydrophobic, so they don't like water. So water is being pushed out, and it's creating these dimple-like effects under the skin. Voila, we have cellulite, or cellulite, however you want to pronounce it, okay? So the water's being pushed out because the fat cells are, you know, jumbled up, and we'll get into that in a second. Pushing the water out, it's creating dimples, aka cellulite. So you may be saying, like, okay, what's going on over here? Well, oftentimes what's going to happen is that back in the day, we used to have a great quantity of something called L-carnitine. You may have seen this supplement in GNC or Vitamin Shop or something like that, but L-carnitine used to be in abundance in our food. And now, because of processing and all these different things, it's not as readily available, and the food that we're eating is making our fat cells too large. So the L-carnitine is a door opener. Say it with me, door opener. So because L-carnitine is low, I'm just going to write this here, and I'll spell it out for you so you know what to look for. That's a hint. L-carnitine is low, this door, for most folks, is not opening. So the body is asking for energy, but guess what? This door is closed off because we don't get enough L-carnitine in our diet. And if we do, it only opens the door a bit and fat particles can't get out. All right? So what we need is for this door to open. So obviously the key is to make sure that you have enough L-carnitine in so that it releases the fat cells and opens that door. Does that make sense? I think it is, all right? So now the problem is, okay, the door's open, Joyce, but these fat cells are still too big, right? So now what we need to do is, have you ever heard of like a fat emulsifier? So if you wash your dishes and you pour the dish soap into the fat or grease in your pan, it starts to, like, you see the things start to separate. That's a fat emulsifier. They make the same thing, which is in the vitamin world, called a lipotropic, okay? And basically it's a fat breaker upper, all right? Lipotropic. Okay? So what we need is something to break up the fat once it's there. That's going to be our lipotropic. It's going to start breaking up these huge, engorged, fatty, thick, viscous fat cells. And when the body asked for it, because L-carnitine opened the door, the lipotropic broke down the fat particles. They're going to be small, be released, and out for energy. This looks like a big jumbled mess now, but I'm glad that you were with me from the beginning so you could see it. All right, so let me look at my notes and make sure I told you everything here. All right, and as a result, most people that begin to do this process, not only do they see that their appearance of cellulite begins to get better, but they also see that they have more energy because that stored fat is actually being released into the system for energy during your workout. So if you do endurance training or something like that, this is going to come into play. Okay, so is all that making sense? I hope it is. Okay, all right. So this was just a really brief video. I didn't want to keep you guys too long tonight. I wanted you to see how this thing gets started. So now that you understand how fat cells work and how things get broken down, what happens, let's go back to this side over here, because this is like so crucial. All right, the water that's under here, because these fat cells are so engorged, what happens is that this water literally gets stuck. It gets stuck in crevices underneath of the skin. And I'm going to show you something in the next video that's going to explain why this water gets stuck. So even though your fat cells are shrinking and the fat is being released, the molecules are being released, or particles, we still have this issue of the water that's still giving not as smooth of an appearance. I'm going to show you in part 2 what's causing that water to stay there, and I'm also going to show you how to do the exercises properly to get that water to move, some different massaging techniques that are going to help you, and a boatload of other things that are going to help you to diminish the appearance of cellulite and or get rid of it altogether. But first I want you to go back through this video, make sure that you understand the base so that we can move forward. Alright? Thanks a lot, guys, and I hope you're enjoying this video series. I'll talk to you soon. Love you. Bye. Mwah.